Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for December 11th through 14th, 2020. How are you doing? Well, wow, what an intense time we're in, huh? I can't even, it's just, there's no words to describe this astrology, this historic, amazing astrology that we're in right now in this next week or two. We are coming into this, what's called a greater conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. They are 1 degree apart right now. So we're feeling the squeeze still in Capricorn, 29 degrees Capricorn, the end degrees, right? So where we're at right now is in this, we know we've been in this kind of timeline war, vibrational war, psychological war, right? And this is just kind of the height of this, like, it's almost like in each of us in our microcosm, we've been going through this internal battle, of the psychological control-based mind and thoughts, and then where we want our energy to be. And it's like this moment to moment psychic battle going on. And we're at the height of this energy right now. And in that place, it feels like, the Saturn and Jupiter together at 29 degrees is like that place where it's just completely dark. And it's so dark. There's this but there's one little, like a hint of light on the horizon. And that's what's so important to understand. This is the cool thing about studying astrology. It's like, you can, this matrix, this bloom of the lower matrix that we've been in at the end degrees of Capricorn, it just isn't sustainable. We're moving into new territory, and it's like right around the corner. It's right now. So it's going from where we've been really sucked into the lower matrix, the trauma bodies, the limitations, the old, the karma, and a lot of this has to do with whether it looks like it or not. It seems like what's going on for the Supernova Soul has so much to do with loyalty contracts. Loyalties to, we've been talking about authority energies, false authority energies, where you've given your power away. And these are reflected in our personal relationships. But a lot of energies around so part of the deal with Supernova Soul is that there's this energy that I've talked about of like the reluctant leader. And that means you've been a leader in your past lives, and then you were so sensitive, so manipulated, so betrayed, things like that, that you're kind of like, I'm never going to do that again. But you have maybe contractual arrangements with groups of souls, and then there's those ancestral energies, and what's happening right now is it's like when you get a little glimpse of that light, of this new dawn that's coming, of this rebirth, this cosmic event that none of us really understand what it is, but we gotta all this whole year for the Supernova Soul is about giving yourself permission to make this leap right now. And you already made the choice to do this, right? But this, you can feel in this last couple of weeks going back into this heavy matrix collective energy of darkness, and it's almost like 2020 for the Supernova Soul was about getting as uncomfortable as you can in that lower energy to give yourself permission to step over. And now it's happening. Like, you will be getting glimpses of this new energy, and it's so profound. It's so beautiful. It's so light. It's so free. It's like the chains of the lower matrix, as much as we've been in this clamp down, they're actually falling apart. It's disintegrating right in front of our eyes. And the energy coming in that you want to be open to is this awe, wonder, revelation energy. It's like that energy of Christmas, and it's being reborn. Like Christmas, of course, has become about, in the Western world, it's just kind of about materialism and distracting ourselves, with busyness, and it's like the gift of Christmas is, or just this energy we're talking about right now, this rebirth of Christ consciousness on the planet. It's like so beautiful and just heart opening, and this revelation, awe and wonder, like being a child, and opening those presents. And it's just a very spiritual thing. And it's like this kind of revival energy, a spiritual revival. And so watch out for that energy, because it's kind of in the mix here with this lower vibration. The lower vibration energy, what I'm seeing people, what's happening is that as you, it's almost like there's a glimpse of that, and then we'll pull ourselves back into the loyalty energies. Like, how can you leave these people behind? Now, this is actually evidence, and it's a strange thing. Are you noticing this? It's like, you'll feel like, whoa, we're really, like, time is accelerating. It's so weird right now. And there's this lighter energy, floaty vibration coming in. If we can stop and receive it, and then it's like the people around you are like, don't seem to notice this, like I don't know what's happening. Of course, none of us know, and we don't get to know. And that's part of the plan, like, the reason why we haven't been able to plan our life and plan our future is because it's different than our minds can handle. And we're on the verge of this. And you're ready for this. You've prepared for lifetimes. You finally get to be who you really are and have a world that actually can support you vibrationally and energetically. But that's a big change, going from what we've been experiencing, indicative of the Piscean age, this last age. But this Capricorn energy has been like, like no limits, restrictions, physical world, heavy, got to deal with the responsibilities, and so it's a very strange time. But what I'm seeing right now is that we've been going back and forth, like visiting these energies this year, and then going back to the loyalties, being like, how can I leave my family or anybody behind? And then realizing again and again that they're not interested in you or anything that, beyond their little blinder zone, right? Most of these people, they've had lifetimes of opportunities to work with you, and they chose to invalidate and deny who you are as a spiritual being. And you went along with it, but it's like, there's this energy of your loyalty, but then it's like they've been camping on it. They've had you all this time that they could have embraced and received you as the spiritual being that you are. Your healing, your love, your wider perspective, your support. And they'll be coming for this. I think in these shifts and changes, as these darknesses are revealed, as these changes, there's a big shift. And this is part of the redemption energy for the Supernova Soul, where those people that were like rejecting you are now calling you up, and they know that you're the one they need to talk to about this. But it's an interesting energy, because we've been going back and forth subconsciously. You might not even realize it's loyalty contracts that are pulling you back into the lower matrix. And what I see happening now is this revelation, awe, wonder, light coming in that they're not seeing because they've chosen to stay in the blinders. This is a really important energy of this time that we live in. It's like the key. We're in a free will universe that's called the Prime Directive, where we each have to, in the spiritual ascension process, each soul has to choose individually, like, I want this. And it's not up to us what anybody chooses, and that's where we're being asked to detach and let people have their process. You've been suffering for thousands of years. You incarnated in the Piscean age, like in the darkest times as a light worker. You've already gone through that. And it's time for you to get out of the garbage and the mess and give yourself permission. And so this whole year has been about getting to this place of giving ourselves permission. And so we've been in this dance of going back and forth and trying to be there. Can I really leave? And this, how do I work with this? How do I, and then feeling like, if I do detach and step away from these contractual arrangements, then I'm all alone. There's nobody out there, which is a total and complete lie, right? but there's just so much programming around this. Now we're coming to this place where the light that's coming in that you are receiving, that you're in a place to receive, you've prepared your DNA codes, your advanced. So the deal with a supernova soul, by definition, is that you've had a whole bunch of experiences beyond the regular soul before you ever came to Earth. You've already gone through spiritual ascension. You've already been in your light body. You know how to work this higher machinery, even though you don't even know you have it. There's so much more to you. And this is the whole key to our spiritual evolution. And that's interesting because that has an energy to it of like, oh, that's a responsibility. Like here you are, like I've said, to lead the way and all that. And you don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know who you are. But it's a different energy of responsibility. It's like coming into your full expression and your joy and your, allowing yourselves to step into those 5D energies, rather than staying down, small, contained, in servitude, sacrifice, savior for people who aren't interested in these energies right now. It's like, so what's happening is that this light that's coming in right now, this acceleration, whatever's happening at this portal time, this solstice, it's happening for you. And it doesn't matter what anybody else is going through right now. And so it's almost like there's this part of the programming of us being so compartmentalized from each other is that as the spiritual ascension energies start to happen, you question it and you jump back into the safe place of where everybody else is, right? And that's why we're here. That's why I'm here, to help us remember, like my passion is about connecting these souls together and letting them know, reminding them who they are, supporting them in awakening into this bigger potential. And know that you're not alone, bringing us together. And this is the next chapter ahead. 2021, huge energies for the supernova soul. It's like time to really forge those pathways back into actual connection in person with your soul group and get back together, get back to work on these projects that you've been working on over this whole evolution. And it's so real. It's so much more real than everything that's playing out, But it comes back to these loyalties because it's like, yeah, but you're just going to walk away from all the family and all that, whatever's playing out for you right now. And we've been teetering on that edge of permission. But as this flood of light that you're like coming online, you're coming on board, you're like, oh, this is, okay. It's finally making sense. This is why I'm here. This is why I've gone through all of this. And let's get this party started, And then you're too busy feeling so good and so alive and so free. And you can't imagine going back there. You can't bring yourself to do it. And this is the shift where it's like, felt like, we've been programmed with this low self-worth. We've been segregated from each other. And to just to basically invalidate our spiritual purpose and the karmic relationships and all that. So it felt like being there for those people was what you were here to do. And maybe, that's part of these loyalty contracts, the group contracts you might have in a past life as a leader. It was appropriate to be more of to hold them in as a leader, a spiritual leader. Now, this time we're in, it's important that everybody makes a choice. They got to come to the place of wanting spiritual ascension and saying yes to this. And so you cannot do it for them. And so that's why part of the reason it's so confusing, but it's like a very different paradigm of like, yes, I'm here to come and save souls and help and heal. And, they're like, who asked you to come here? And now it's like, okay, I'm here for this. And they have their own path. They have their own timeline. They have their own purpose. Yeah, they have their own thing. And you're too busy feeling good and being validated and connecting and coming into your presence, the gifts of who you are. And then you recognize that the way you actually fulfill your purpose and honor who you are and honor God, source, spirit, creator, great mother, is by honoring your energy and your gift and not letting it leak out, not feeding any black holes, but sacred container, you know? And once you establish in those energies, and as these come in, it's kind of like, ooh, it's too good. I can't go back down there. Sorry, guys, you know? And it's ironic because it's like the way you help the most, this is really important. The way you help the most to fulfill your purpose here is to contain your energy, is to stand up in your righteous truth, is to not put up with any more bullshit, is to not waste your time on any argument of the lower vibration. It is, you cannot do it. You've got to elevate, you know, give yourself a permission to elevate. And this is going to get easier and easier over these next days, where we're literally, you know, seeing that picture of the solstice energies. We're feeling it. Do you feel the sun is so activated right now? And the galactic winds, you know, coming from that galactic center and lifting us up over this threshold and into establishing a different vibrational frequency. And it's like really time for you to be like, you have suffered enough. You have played in that paradigm long enough. But other souls have not. They need more time there. It's not up to you. And so as we experience these revelation, awe, wonder, awakening, you know, we've been going through spiritual awakening and a struggle to like break ourselves out of the lower matrix and the lower psychological control and all the shit that's going on, electromagnetic vibration, nanite technology, poisons everywhere in our environment. You know, we're just like, clawing our way out. And this is the shift where it's like, no, now you can walk on air. And there's deep mysteries I'll be going into around this, what's called a greater conjunction, which is when Jupiter and Saturn come together and move from, Jupiter and Saturn come together in a triangle. Their conjunctions go in a triangle, like in the same element, you know, so they've all been in earth signs, except for one that happened in 1981, which is in Libra. Now we're having both a conjunction in Capricorn and Aquarius. And it's called a greater conjunction, happens about every 200 years, 240 or so. And this is a huge thing because we're moving from the earth energy, the manifest, heavy, like reality, right, into air. And it's a whole new chapter ahead. And it's also the crowning of kings. And it's the age of Aquarius. And there's just so much going on. And so anyway, more to come about that. But just know that this is an epic time where I'm kind of like, as I study about these things that are happening, I'm sensing these astrologers, these master astrologers, like deep, mysterious, you know, the Magi, the wise men, they were astrologers. That's why they saw this great conjunction in the sky. And they said, the Messiah is born. We got to go find him, you know? And it's like they're all here energetically, like being like, you guys, check it out. What's going on here? You know, like you don't miss this. You're living in historically epic times. Now, the greater conjunction, the effect of this is going to last for years ahead. A lot of times they talked about 3 to 5 years after the greater conjunction is when you really see the effect of it, you know? So it's like starting a new era. And in the air signs, it's about communication, coming back to our voice. It's about vibration. It's about, there's a healing element of sound, art, expression, a renaissance, a spiritual renaissance. And it's interesting because I can see how Supernova Souls throughout this evolution have planted little seeds for this. And you thought that you had this big, beautiful vision you were working on together. And then you didn't, the forces came in and said, oh, no, you don't, right? Lower matrix. And it's like, oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. The light is always stronger and it always wins. It's only getting stronger. It's organic. It's just the natural cycle, right? And so this conjunction, this greater conjunction, it's kind of said that's like for great things to happen. And a lot of people feared these conjunctions, right? But it's like for great things to happen, great change in our manifest world, you need one of these conjunctions. And hello, it's happening on the solstice, which so many people are saying it's like the Mayan calendar is off and we're really in 2012 this year, you know? And here we are, we're just right on the precipice. And if you tap in, you can feel it, these waves of higher vibrational energy that are just breaking down that lower matrix, breaking down the lies, breaking down the deceit, breaking down the narcissist. The narcissist energies that have been running our world, it's a veneer. There's nothing of substance to back it up. It's Oz behind the curtain, And when you like to pull back the curtain, Dorothy in her innocence, pulling back the curtain, you're like, oh, not so scary after all. Oh, you don't actually have any power. And all the power they've been using, all the money they've been using is ours. We're in charge. We, the people, have the power. And that's the revolution of today. So, Supernova Souls, you're here to lead the way. Give yourself permission to contain that power, contain that energy, unplug from the lower matrix, let everybody be where they need to be at, and let yourself come back into your throne, into your autonomy as a spiritual being. So it's coming back to this energy of, in this psychological war that kind of we're just at this apex point of it. There's a place in the war where you know who's going to win, but there's still the battle to play out, right? And that's where we're at. And so there's a really interesting energy here because it's really about taking back the matrices in our psychology, right? It's like, I see it as this psychological brain that's out there, and it's like a control base, and we're all being fed thoughts, information, energies that they want us to feel and think. This is how everything's been created throughout time. It's like programming. We're the computer, and we got bad software, fear, trauma, creating more fear and trauma. And it's like, yeah, game over. Because guess what? Like quantum physics has shown us that what we see doesn't even exist unless we think we see it. So our whole projected reality that seems physical and real, and we are all sharing, we have a collectively agreed upon reality in order to meet up in time and interact and progress. But if it's only there if we see it, that means that there's part of us that has to agree within our being to see it. And this is where we need to reevaluate, right? And kind of, it's almost like that place where you can step back. I'm kind of seeing this picture of a busy train station. And there's people at the train station that are waiting for trains. There's people working there, and they're checking the trains, and they're busy with they're fully involved in the full train experience of what's happening, and the timing, and the mechanical things, right? And the driver and the people selling tickets and all that, right? And then there's the people waiting for trains. So they're not so involved, but they're going to still ride the train, right? The sheeple, and what we need to do is we need to step even further back where we're just observers, that this play is happening. But we can choose where we can put our energy and our vibration. And I kind of see, if you step back enough, there's that place that's, it's all happening within, everything that's happening is happening within this field, this play. And can we step back and get that perspective? And I feel like as you step further back, there's this kind of picture of this garden, this 5D energy, this harmonious, interconnected woven magical energy of connection with nature and the elements and each other and spirituality, what we've all wanted, what we all came for, what we know the earth, the potential of earth, and why we've stuck with this whole program through all of this, and can you step back into that, and let the trains come and go and let the people be concerned with that, and you are concerned with the background, or the place that all takes place within, this place of consciousness that I am, it's like, and to go to the garden and just spend as much time as you can there, of just kind of like stepping back. And then you'll become more and more conscious of these infiltrating thoughts that aren't of your origin, that psychological control brain, it's getting more and more obvious, what's your thoughts and what's programming. And it doesn't mean we don't get pulled into it, right? But maybe we can kind of more quickly be like, wait a minute, this is my prerogative. This is my mind, my consciousness, and I'm not playing those games anymore. I'm not going to be a dark operative anymore. I'm not going to go put my energy, my precious spiritual energy, into the lower play. And I'm going to contain it and love it and own it. And this, so we thought that honoring God and creation and our spiritual purpose was to save, fix, heal, go down and try to pull these souls up. And now it's really important for us to understand that our spiritual service lies in this containment and honoring of the sacred energies. And that's the only way we stop feeding the lower matrix. So anyway, it's all about this preparation time. The big thing we're feeling today is that the sun is in exactly conjunct the south node. Now, Mercury is going to be coming into a conjunction with the south node as well. Very interesting. The sun and Mercury, they're both interacting with the nodes. Conjunct south node, opposite the north node, and square to Uranus and Pisces. But they don't come together in their conjunction, the sun and Mercury, until solstice day on the Galactic Center. It's just like, okay, add it all up. Just one of these things, just the eclipse, just the greater conjunction, just the solstice energies is enough to like blow your mind. And it's all happening at once. And we're here experiencing it. And this is why you're like, oh, I thought I was like playing along in this mechanical reality, but actually I am a child of Creator, of God, And so it's huge energies. We don't want to miss it. But that square Neptune is so huge that the nodes being activated with eclipse season, Mercury and the sun come, each taking a turn today, exact the sun on the south node Sagittarius, bringing up all those energies we talked about feeling like you got off your path and purpose. You didn't fulfill your mission here on earth, and now you don't deserve it anymore. And you've been playing in the lower sandbox thinking that's all there is for you, while you're looking in the mirror going, wait a minute. Something's so wrong. Something is missing. There's something way bigger than everybody's playing this game that it's not. And this is the split we're in right now. And so that energy of square Neptune is so intense because it's like Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, in Pisces, and it's about dreaming and visioning. It's just fantasy. Creation, imagination, but also delusions, right? So it's like we're facing the delusions that have kept us in the lower matrix of the Piscean age, which is a lot for the Supernova Soul, savior, sacrifice, martyr, and those are distortions of the Christ mysteries. That's not what we're doing here. We're stepping and holding and moving and living in the exalted light and walking on air together in our bubble of light. And if we don't contain and own that bubble of light, then nobody's going to do this for us. This is this place where there's part of us where we have to face that dragon. We have to go alone to cross over the threshold in a way, because it's like we're the only ones who can actually save ourselves. And that's why it's so painful, so alone, so excruciatingly weird, because you feel like nobody's with you on the journey, and how can you just go? You have no idea what lies ahead, but we have to, it's that free will thing where we have to take our prerogative and say yes. And so that's where we go from the nightmare of the Piscean age, where the collective consciousness revelation energy was used to control humanity through religious structures, And so now it's time to get into the dream. So the energy right now, the Sagittarius energy, the Sun in Sagittarius, Mercury in Sagittarius, and this and then the Pisces energy of that square, Neptune square the nodes. These two energies are magic visualization step through to a whole new reality energies, right? Because Sagittarius is like, let me expand and vision and see beyond the veil, see the centaur putting his arrow way out there into the horizon and the possibilities and the bigger, and the quest and the journey and the story. And then the Neptune in Pisces is this grand dream. And so individually and collectively, this time right now is a huge visionary time. This is a vision quest time. This is like, we've been talking about all year, go to your lodge, go to your place. And it's like, and it's hard because it's like, I'm still all alone in the lodge. Are we gonna what's going on here? And it's like, well, we're coming to the end of this chapter, and we kind of gotta be where we're at so that we can receive that light in its greatest potential. So vision your life, go on that vision quest, go on that fast, go on that, take these holidays where you're detaching from, and it's hard because we've been so quarantined, and then you can't, it's like, it's hard with all these responsibility energies, but take this time for you to go deeper into that cave, to find that light in the corner, and be there, because that's so much more real than anything, all these loyalty stuff that's playing out, And like I said, as this light comes in, it's like, this is, I can't, then you can't imagine or allow yourself to go back into that squeeze. So everything we've gone through this year is about, like I said, giving yourself permission for this. It's what you came here for. And, it's been completely invalidated and kind of like, oh, no, that's not even there. That's no, focus on here, make some money, get a good job, fulfill all the things that we would like. This is who you are. You need to be who you are for us in our little world. And we'll all be safe. We'll all be contained in the drama, the lower play. And it's like, can't do it. No more. I feel too good, and I'm sorry that you can't receive these good energies, because I've been trying to tell you about them for lifetimes. It's a great redemption on multiple levels for the Supernova Soul. And are you going to receive it and step into the light? And you kind of don't have a choice, actually, is kind of the energies. Like, we came here for this. We already said yes. There's not but you want to receive it to the maximum. So give yourself that time for the vision quest. The other thing that's happening right now is that Venus is in sextile to Pluto, Venus the end degrees of Scorpio, going into the darkest dark, being like, okay, we got to clean up the shadows if we're going to evolve. We know we need massive truth and revelation in order to evolve, humanity to evolve, and it's like, maybe that's this kind of timeline split. It's like de-evolving. If you want to keep de-evolving, keep your blinders on, keep attached to the physical, fine. But I think, we've gotten this message of this critical mass that's about to that's ready to step over and receive. And the light's coming in. It's what I see is almost like we've had all this solar activity and all this and light, energies, ascension energies. This whole astrology this year is all about ascension energies. And then there's a lockdown, right? But the lockdown is mechanical and oppressive and holding us. And the light is natural, organic, and expanding, and nothing can stop it. So I don't like to do future advice, because it could be more amazing than we even know, and we don't know, so why even try? But there's a little bit of a picture coming around this solstice event, that what's really happening is that the light has been so coming in, but blocked through these mechanical, technological programs and devices on our planet, and toxins on lockdown and all that. And what's happening is this dismantling of the systems and the money that holds those controls in place, right? And so it's almost like the timing of this is like where that lower matrix is dismantling, falling apart, to the point where that light that's been held back is pouring in. And that's the solstice energies. And so it's got this whole energy of over evolutions, but over this year, it's like we've been playing out this story of like the rubber band holding back these energies. These transits of the Jupiter have been so wanting to bring the ascension energies in, and then it's like, no, we're going to control you, and it's like, what would it be like if we could come together in celebration of thousands of people celebrating and dancing and singing and playing and having fun? It'd be game over. So I can't let that happen, right? But it's like, there's only so much they can do, and they're running out of money and they're getting cornered, and so these systems can't keep pace. So it's almost like this timing of these plans and this, I can't, like I said, I don't want to get into trying to say what it is, but there's this energy of a dismantling of the lower matrix to the point where all that light that's been held back floods into our world, which could cause disruptions for a little bit. But the light that's coming in is the organic spiritual revelation, and it's harmonized. It's all about trying to harmonize this experience. The higher vibrations are harmonizing. They've been telling us they're destructive. But actually, the destructive is the holding it back and the resistance. Is this where we've all been? Holding back, resistance, holding on to the old ego, holding on to the ship of like these lower karmic stuff we've all been playing out in the big bloom, of karmic energies, of lifetimes of stuff like right in our face, and it's time now to surrender. And we don't have a choice. It's just going to happen to us too. It's not like the whole message for the last few months and this year has been like, come on, allow yourself, let yourself, like, give yourself permission. And that's what I've been talking about. But there's also this energy of like, well, now we're at the tipping point. So buckle up, buttercup, and you know what to do. It's a super exciting time. This is about spiritual, mystical revelation. It's not about the breaking of the world. The world is not solid. I can't break. That's the old paradigm. Maybe this is the thing of this triad, the trigon, which is this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction moving from Earth energies to air energies. It's like we're just, like we can flow with it. We got plasma. We're plasma. We don't need to crumble and break. We don't need that catastrophe energy anymore. That's the old story. But that fear programming is what's been keeping us from stepping over into our ascension subconsciously, and the loyalties. And now it's like, there's no choices. It's time to step over and go. So that's where we're just want to make the most of this time, pull back our energy, contain it, hold sacred, keep in mind the paradigm of the sacrifice versus the containment, and just try to be completely present for the magic that's unfolding and your great redemption and those buckets of blessings that have been withheld and stolen, pouring back like the water bearer, right? The Aquarius. See, this is the thing. It's like, oh, this is so intense. And it's like, yeah, because we've had like massive Capricorn energy, Saturn at home in Capricorn. It's all about the old guard, the old rules, the old way, the limits, the no, you don't, the wall and the karma, but it's like, that's shifting. We're just a few days away. On the 17th is when Saturn moves over into Aquarius. And then this greater conjunction, Jupiter catches up. So Jupiter catching up to Saturn has this energy of overcoming the old, and the new king is born. And the old king that underneath the rules and laws and dogma is old ancient wisdom too. And it's kind of like that new king is taking the old wisdom and evolving it into the new chapter. So wow. And so Venus in sextile to Pluto, these are like the last transits of these planets. Venus will come into the personal planets with these, while they're in Capricorn, all these planets. Venus comes into sextile with Jupiter and Saturn early next week for that eclipse. So that's powerful, because it's like, oh, for this new king to take over and the light to be reborn, we got to get the feminine out of the shadows. The feminine, the divine feminine, has been cut out of that religious story of history, just cut out, cut into pieces, so she's got these, Mary Magdalene, who was like the disciple of disciples, is now a whore, so it's like this is exactly a metaphor for our world. And we've got dark, nasty things happening in the secrets that we've all just kind of put aside. No, it's, whatever, I'm over here. And now it's like we can't move on without having the darkness revealed. And it's pretty powerful, actually, to have the darkness revealed at the same time that this massive light is coming in. And that's where you're here as Supernova Soul, Advanced Soul. Put yourself in the light. Be there. You've already gone through this. You've gone through the puking phase of having to look at the truth. And the world is coming to the puking phase, to the detox, to the and now it's your job, this shift. So when there's a vibrational shift into higher dimensional frequencies, everybody goes, right? So the next level of consciousness that is beyond us, they are going to go to a higher level. We're going to go to a higher level. People below are going to go to a higher level. We're all going, and so again, just coming back to the whole message is like, your job is to establish there and let the trains come and go. Let the train crash. This train spill, you don't need to go fix it. That's no longer your job. I mean, can you believe it? The freedom, the walking on air, the being in your bubble of light with your team, working on amazing projects and letting whatever needs to play out in the mechanical realm play out. And that's how we help the most, is to feel better, come together, celebrate, get to work, creation energies. So in your visioning, in your vision quest, what is that creative project that you've been holding back? It's like the last on your list. Oh, well, when I get everything else done, then I'm going to do this thing for me. That's where you need to be putting your energy in this new paradigm. It is the Renaissance energy, is this creation. So, that's been coming through. How do we build new earth? We're here to build new earth. And we build it through our creative expression, which totally fits this greater conjunction energy. And like I said, more information coming about that. But wow, I hope you can join this total solar eclipse soul group session. And if I'm going to go ahead and add that, I'll do that today. But if you come to the total solar eclipse soul group session, a 50% off coupon for the Solstice Solstice soul group session. And this is about us coming together and a group intuitive sessions where we look at shared past life energies, and we can get actual clearings, healings, timeline alignment, karmic, contractual clearings, authority contract clearings, soul retrieval, all that stuff's on the table. Deep and profound work together, the work you're doing, supporting your soul group supporting you, really coming into this field. So I'd be so honored to have you with us for those events. And even if you can't join at the time, your energy, just your intention to be with us in the group is just so profound and powerful, and deep and profound gratitude for you showing up, being here, making it through all you've made it through to this spectacular moment in time. Whatever happens, we're together. We are fully prepared. We know what to do. And the beautiful new revelation lies ahead. And it's our job to step over, let ourselves enjoy and celebrate. So I'll be in touch with updates, and I hope to see you. This total solar eclipse soul group session will be happening on the day before, 12 hours before about, and so Sunday night in Mountain Time in the US at 8 p.m. So again, it's not going to work in every time zone, but join when you can. And then at that time of the exact total solar eclipse, if it happens to work in your time zone, that's a great time to meet back up on the chat or do the event again, because we're working outside of time in a quantum field. And so it's always live for you. Those messages, the energy is available for you. So thank you so much for joining and being a part of that. I look forward to seeing you soon or on the next update. Have a wonderful weekend. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.